Welcome to the My Broadband 2020 Cloud Conference. It's a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Dayong Zhang, who's the Chief Technology Officer at China Telecom. Mr. Zhang, it's really great to have you with us. You are joining us from Dubai. Can you please start off by telling us, firstly, how has COVID-19 been treating you and your organization? I imagine many people are working remotely, but it's been a very interesting year, hasn't it?
Yes. That's I think it is a popular question. Yeah, I think that's why you put it first to ask. Yeah, I'm happy to answer that question. Yes, as everyone can see, currently the pandemic is still going on. It is affecting everyone's everyday life. For us, I think, well, on one aspect, we see it is definitely have some impact on our operation. As you can see, currently I am working from home, and most of my colleagues in the region, we are currently working from home. That could have some impact on our daily communication. I think it happens to everyone in every industry. And also on the other side, I think we see some opportunities, especially for us as a service provider with the IT and telecommunications. Now people are more need to be more connected via the network, internet, with the information service. So we see the traffic are growing, opportunities are growing. Meanwhile, we are facing new challenge, including on the transportation, logistics side.
Well, that's so interesting. That's so interesting, Mr. Zhang. And you know, you guys are one of the biggest telecoms companies in China. So it's quite interesting to see, you know, China Telecom and your presence in Africa. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and China's telecom's role in Africa, for example?
Yeah, definitely. We are the subsidiary division of company called China Telecom Global, which overlook the global service for China Telecom. China Telecom is one of the biggest fixed carrier in China as well in the world. We started our global overseas footprint from the year 2000. Now we have our operations in Asia Pacific, in Americas, in Europe, and lastly in Middle East and Africa. So now we are talking about the operation here in Africa and Middle East. In this region, we have first we are registered in Mauritius. Under the umbrella, we have several offices in Dubai, in Kenya, Nairobi, in Johannesburg, and in Cairo. So we cover most of the regions, the major regions in the whole area, and we have our network coverage in those areas as well. We have our POPs in Dubai, in Fujairah, in Cairo, Djibouti, Nairobi, Mombasa, Johannesburg, and Lagos as well. You can see we cover pretty much of the area, and we are looking into the chance to go more inland into those inland countries to extend our footprint and have broader coverage and serve our customers.
That's very impressive, Mr. Zhang. I mean, when you look at globally how you are adapting and how you're growing globally, I mean, that's quite impressive. And on the continent itself, that's quite a few countries you raised there. You mentioned as we were introducing each other at the beginning about how the lockdown and how COVID-19 has changed the way we work. What kind of growth and which kind of services are you seeing the real growth happening on the continent? And, you know, just overall, if you can touch on that.
I think on several aspects. So it may vary from region to region. As I mentioned, we have operations in Middle East, Eastern Africa, and Southern Africa. So overall, we can see the business is growing even under the COVID-19 situation. But in some areas, the growth point and field can be different. So, for example, in the business in Eastern Africa, we cover a lot of ISPs and the Chinese firms who use our internet service to connect back to China and global around. So during the pandemic, we can see constant growth over the traffic. And we also see the trend of the traffic is moving from the intercontinental to the local providers as well.
Yes.
So including those big names, they have moved their edge service from the developed countries to the developing countries, especially in the coastal line of Africa. So we are seeing traffic growth of more local exchange. So that could be one trend. And also in the Middle East, we can see that a lot of firms are trying to recover their business here. We are providing the IT service plus communication service to help them to complete their IT infrastructure, to get more connected to their customer. That's to boost their local business. And on Africa, because we have some key media customers, so there we have set up our media platform as well. We call it MDX, a Media Distribution Exchange, and we can see a lot of growth in that aspect. So we helped them to transmit the programs from other sources into the local broadcasting, their local broadcasting network. We can see that is growing as well.
So lots of video and an increase in traffic. It must be astonishing to have seen the increase, since March, for example. And I know that you are, quite a big player in the data center and offering cloud services, for example, in the EMEA region. Can you tell us about that? China Telecom's play with data centers in the cloud?
Yes, definitely. We see the trend that the content providers are moving their edge service more close to the end customers. So we think we cannot lag behind. So from like 3 years ago, we started to build up our cloud platform in the region. So currently, we already have fair coverage in the region. Currently, we have our platform node in UAE, in Egypt, in Kenya, in Johannesburg, and in Nigeria as well. So you can see our cloud platform is following our network footprint, where we have our POP. Potentially, we have planned to build a local cloud node there so that we can combine and integrate our cloud service together with our connectivities. So globally, we can transmit the content from the hotspot with low latency to the region. And in the region, we can forward and to access the customer very closely within like the latency of under 10 milliseconds or something.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. So in order to do that, we have done a lot to choose the right supplier for the global connectivity over the submarine cables. We select the industry-leading providers for doing that. And also we have a quite extensive local peering and interconnectivity in those countries where we have our coverage. So I think
So
that's
very,
how we did that.
very broad, Mr. Zhang. I mean, but you know, the reality is that the market is very competitive at the moment. So China Telecom, for example, what kind of services are offered by yourselves? I mean, how do you compare to the other players in the market? Because it's very competitive. Why should people choose China Telecom?
Okay, that's a good question. I think in the cloud market, well, when you think about those big names will be in your head. China Telecom, well, traditionally we are provider for the bandwidth and network services. Well, from several years ago, we have decided to make some transformation to integrate the cloud service together with our traditional bandwidth service. So, well, basically, we can provide the infrastructure as a service. Together with our partners, we also developed some platform and software based on our infrastructure to provide the service as well. So we have our features over our platform. For example, what I mentioned, we have global coverage. We can transport a huge data from one place to another with our backbone, and we have good connectivity to our end customer. And a lot of our customer already, they're using our connection service like the MPS and SD-WAN. We can very easily put them on our cloud platform, and we also work together with those cloud exchange providers. We can easily integrate the connectivity with the popular service like those big names. So we are very flexible in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Zhang, it's impressive when you talk about you know, you've got nodes in Egypt, in Nigeria, Nairobi, Johannesburg. Many people say that sometimes it is challenging on the continent to deliver these services. I know that, you know, we've got tremendous undersea cables along our coasts and there's good communication coming towards the continent, but getting the connectivity inland must be a big challenge. Can you touch on some of the challenges that you've experienced as China Telecom in delivering services in Africa?
Sure.
And also how you overcame those challenges.
Sure. Yeah, first, well, when we entered the market, we found that we see the rapid growth of economy and the business in the region. Meanwhile, we can see the on the infrastructure side, it is still developing. Well, the basic supplies like the power, transportation, the service, the labor, intelligence, could be challenging in some situations. For example, the power supply, even in the data centers, well, sometimes we see the power supply is not as top level. We still see some, well, in some data centers, we still rely on the diesels, and sometimes the state grid is not stable. So that is quite a basic for us. And also the level of the service. We see it is changing, it is improving. Now we can see some well, the top level of data centers in South Africa, in Kenya. And I think the trend is moving toward the inland countries. So we can see more and more coming. And also, I think, well, coming back to the pandemic, we see we are still in a constructing stage. We need our suppliers to rely on the logistic network to send the equipment, to send the essentials to set up nodes of and our equipment. Now we see well, in some of the projects we are seeing some well, it's behind schedule due to the custom issue, the logistic issue. We can see it is recovering, but still, well, I think there are other challenging front of us.
But certainly very exciting stuff, and I know that you are investing heavily in this region. You are really pushing forward into getting China Telecom's expansion onto the continent. Can you tell us about what future plans you have and what kind of development and investments that you plan to make over the next few years as China Telecom?
Yes. Well, in the past few years, our investments in the capex and opex have been constantly growing, and I think it will be the same case for the coming years. From the network side, well, several years ago, we only have a few SDM1s in the region, and just in the matter of a couple years, we managed to upgrade it to 10 gigs as a major between our backbone nodes. And now we have planned to upgrade it to 100 gig in the first half of next year. So you can see it's a relative amazing growth.
Wow, that's impressive.
We have achieved in the past. And well, on one side, it is driven by the business growth, and also we are determined to build a reliable network to put a stable level of service to our customer. We put our service on different submarine cables. I'll give you an example. At end of last year, I think back in April, in South Africa, you may know, we suffered some cable cut on the western coast of Africa, and a lot of ISPs were affected, and the customers were complaining about the downgrade of the level of service, low connection to Europe. But for our customer, fortunately, we have a full redundancy over the eastern coast submarine cable. So basically, we have managed to achieve the similar level of service during the breakdown, and our customers were quite happy about that.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean, spending money on redundancy and increasing your speeds going forward, certainly a big challenger in the space of the cloud and offering these connectivity options on the continent of Africa. Dayong Zhang, the Chief Technology Officer at China Telecom, thank you for your time. We wish you and your business every success going forward.
Thank you very much for giving us the chance to introduce ourselves and share some information about us. I hope we can find more opportunities to work together with all the potential partners and customers.
Thank you.